Right, I actually tried to record this once, but like an idiot. Forgot to press the record button. I was aware I had a full battery, couldn't understand what was going on when the camera switched itself off. Dumbass. That's me, dumbass. Now I'm just doing this for those that come on and see videos on YouTube and think, what's he doing that for? This is Fallout New Vegas, which I never completed because when I fiddled about with my computer, on the recommendation of some people that run a magazine and to do with Ubuntu, when I put both Skyrim and Fallout New Vegas back on, Skyrim still had my games, saves, and this one didn't. And I contacted Steam and never got much in the way of an answer. As a result, I didn't really want to play from the beginning again, and I put it to one side and concentrated on Skyrim. Now, I know this is an old title, but there is a reason for this I'm about to get to. I've been talking about building a rig for quite a while, and I've been sort of watching AMD's Fusion APUs. Oh, they've dropped the Fusion label now, I believe, and I'm quite interested in the latest one that's come out. It's a bit annoying because it does feel a little bit underpowered for what I want in a CPU and APU, but it's not as underpowered as a lot of people like to sort of make out. Now, to give you an idea, when I lost patience waiting to build a rig, because I hadn't done one in 7 years, I ended up trying to figure out whether or not I could play some titles on this laptop. I went in to a game store, I told them what mobile I had, and I'm normally pretty good with these things, but I must admit, for a couple of years, I've not had my finger on the pulse, you could say. I'm just heading south here in a direction, hoping something will happen and you'll see some wasteland. Now this is, I'll explain the resolution I'm on. I'm on the screen's max resolution, which is something along the lines of 1600 by 900. So not quite 1080p. But then it's not, the monitor's not capable of 1080p, but it ain't that far off. Now the distance on objects sort of suddenly pops up like that satellite dish just did, and yeah, that could be better. That being said, this is an old laptop, and although Fallout New Vegas might be a bit of an old title, and I have got some anisotropic filtering and some anti-aliasing, I think it's like one's 2 times and one's 4 times going on. Right, the fact that I can actually put them on a tool on this is quite incredible. In fact, when I went in to see if Oblivion would run, because I thought Oblivion might be a younger game than this one, the chap, when I told the chap what graphics chip, oh, it's them. That's me not paying attention. Trust him to turn up now. Attention. Damn it. Yeah, I told him I was playing this, and he said, "Oh, really? Well, if you can play New Vegas, you'll have no trouble running Oblivion." those I've got, quite a few. And I need to stop myself from dying just for a second, because I'm rather stupidly chatting away. I forgot to save the game. I'll have one of those. Let's take attention. Now let me just save that. Now, I shall now explain, as I've explained the resolution and what title this is. You have to understand that this is quite an old laptop. Oops, I just blew up my companion. I haven't, but... The Legion don't like me, and I don't like them. I'm quite happy that I don't send raiding parties after me, although I'm quite interested to know how they find out about where I am, because sometimes I'm in places. I died. Anyway, let me just finish this before I continue on with my game, now that they've annoyingly killed me while I'm talking. Right, now that is a HP Pavilion laptop, and it's a Phenom X3, so it's only a 3-core Phenom running at 1.8 gigahertz. The graphics chip in it is a Radeon 5470M mobile processor, and probably just like the CPU, running at a lowered megahertz than one you'd find in a desktop. So the AMD A10-7860k, which is what I've been looking at, is 4 cores, runs at another gigahertz on top of this, and then some, and has a much faster GPU built into it. And yet, anytime I read anything about the 7850, everybody says, oh, you can't run things at 1080p, can't run modern games at 1080p. Oh, well, how do you work that out? Because I just showed you a film of me gaming, okay, at 900p on a 5470 mobile processor on an ancient and very hot, because you can hear the fan blowing away like there's no tomorrow, Phenom X3 processor, only running at 1.8 gigahertz. No, I just find it really, and everyone, oh no, you can't play this game on that. Oh no, you know, and it's like, well, did you actually try it for yourself? You know, I mean, you could probably turn off some settings if it was. I mean, if it was that power hungry, you could probably turn off some settings that would speed it up that you'd hardly notice in the game anyway. And added to that, you know, there is the fact that you can add a very cheap card to the mix and up the frame rates by anywhere between, you know, in some cases it doubles the frame rate, you know, and even in bad cases you get an extra 10 frames per second, you know, and when you're talking about things you can't game on, 10-12 frames a second would make all the difference. You know, and people do forget that when they talk about serious gamers, the only way, and I've done it myself, the only reason you would buy a super powerful graphics card, right, is you know you get the frame rates. That's neither here nor there. You know, let's get that straight. That's just bragging rights, right? But at the end of the day, you know, if you pay a lot of money for a graphics card, you know, that in a year's time, when some fandangled new piece of software comes out with some fancy new graphics, you'll be able to run it, right? But so will a graphics card that's out at the time that costs half the price that you paid for your one a year earlier. And yet people say the strangest things and argue like cat and dog on the internet, and I just thought, well, I'm gonna do a video and say, well, you're telling me, right, that I'm running that with the graphics chip and the CPU that I've got in a lowly laptop, and I can't run the latest games with an AMD Kaveri chip. I don't think you got your facts straight. But like I say, anyone that doesn't quite understand why I've put this on YouTube, a lot of my stuff I put on YouTube is linked in to somewhere else, which is also owned by Google. Right? The YouTube account isn't a standalone thing. Right? It's a backup to a series of blogs, and I have a dozen blogs on a dozen different things. Right? Some of those things have videos on YouTube, some of them don't yet. But the plan is in time that all the blogs will have their own pictures, and they'll also have their own videos here on YouTube that links up to whoever's following what blog. And that is why I do it. And when people come along, I'm trying to explain things to people, and people go, oh, I don't like that, what did you do that for? Well, I know what I did it for. You know, you need to read what it says on my profile. It does explain what the videos are here for. You know, some people get benefit out of them. It's quite funny when I see things that have got, you know, 50 thumbs up and 50 thumbs down. Well, you know, 50 people found it helpful, the other 50 don't and felt the need to put thumbs down. So, well, what about the people that all found it helpful? People are strange. And believe me, I've met some very strange ones. So there you go. Fallout New Vegas, 1600 by 900, 2 times and 4 times AA and AF, and on a 5470M Radeon, and a Phenom X3, 1.8 gigahertz. I mean, you can't get more lowly, older and low gigahertz than that now, can you?